All right. Welcome to the Flip Connect Media Cast. My name is Ben Lovro, your host. Today we got Earon Bevans, based out of San Antonio, Texas. Earon's been studying up on real estate for just over 2 years, been full-time for the past 10 months, in which he's cleared $100K plus in assignment fees, shooting for a $400K net this year. His primary focus is wholesaling. Recently took on his first 2 flips. He's gone broke 4 times in the past 10 months, feeding his business, and he's a firm believer that and an advocate and fighter for entrepreneurship. This guy believes that anybody, especially the little guy, can make it in entrepreneurship. Yes, it requires grit, creativity, and effort, but at the end of the day, that's the stuff that makes us great. So without any further ado, Earon Bevans, the millennial entrepreneur, welcome on board, bro.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's a super privilege to be here, my dude.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So before we jump in, man, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about where you got started as an entrepreneur and where that passion comes from.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Ben, but before I jump in this bad boy, is this being shared to your group right now?
Yes. Yep. This should be live in Flip Connect Media.
Flip Connect Media. I'm going to make sure that everybody in my audience base knows that for sure. Okay, perfect.
Good deal.
I'm sharing it out. Yeah. Huh? Go ahead.
You should be able to share it directly from the page out, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's actually what I'm doing right now.
Good deal.
Yeah, man. So I'm 28 years old, found out about wholesaling a few years ago and pretty much just jumped right in, man. What was the specific question that you're asking?
Yeah, so tell us about your background. Tell us about where you found entrepreneurship, how you stumbled on it.
Man, that's a really good question. So entrepreneurship, man, I don't know if I've been asked that specific question. I do remember from a young age telling my mom that I was gonna buy her a house. You know, there was always stuff in our past with my dad wasn't there and things like that. So I always felt a personal responsibility to mom. And so, dude, I legit remember cuddling with my mom in bed and telling her I'm, being like 4 or 5 years old.
Wow.
And telling her, I'm going to buy you a house. I'm going to take care of you. I didn't know what this all meant, but my mom's always been that's my girl. That's my number one. So later on in life, watching her provide for us and work these huge long hours, and then to find out she was only making a few dollars an hour. Like when I found out, bro, I was like, screw the dude that is only paying my mom a few dollars an hour, for how hard she's working, what I mean? So, but later on I realized, okay, the real issue has to be with me and not allowing or tolerating somebody to determine what my worth is. Wow. So the passion is taking care of family, especially mom. But then I realize I'm worth more than that. You know what I mean? So how can I be able to provide for mom or take care of my family, but also not allow anybody to ever tell me what I'm worth and be able to determine that for myself? Entrepreneurship is the way to do that. You know what I mean? So I can't see myself I can't see myself ever calling somebody else a boss, man.
Right.
Not a part of my identity,
Yeah, man. In some cases, you have to go through that muck, through the mire, through the struggle, because that develops perseverance. That draws out your strength. You leverage it against those trials, those struggles. And honestly, bro, sometimes you got to push past that to find your true self. That's how you got to lose yourself to find yourself, right?
Yeah, so, man.
That's what it takes. You got to fail forward regardless of where you're at, where you're starting. I mean, beautiful destinations came from some rocky bottom,
Yep.
That's huge, bro. That's a big motivator.
I think it's Tom Kroll who says rock bottom is the greatest foundation.
Yeah.
right? So
Absolutely.
sometimes seeing those the ugly things, creates such a strong emotional response that it really gives us the drive to be able to push forward and do what it takes to succeed.
That's right. It's almost like, it's a cultivation. You got to
Mm,
plant your seeds along the way, and those seeds don't sprout up overnight. You got to
mm,
drop them in the dirt. The dirt's where it all starts, bro. The struggle's where it starts. And then along the way, you start nourishing and watering those seeds.
mm,
They sprout up a little bit. You get a small taste of it, but you got
mm.
to keep on pressing, and you got to trust the process and go through those seasons in order for that seed to sprout up, bro. And that's
Yeah,
where you find greatness. You
yeah,
know, it's a compounding effect, bro. Like it takes a long time to create success, right?
yeah.
Most people quit before they truly succeed because it's not for the faint in heart. And you got to press through, you got to fail, you got to hit your face. But at the end of that comfort zone is where you find it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You pick up principles just like you said from everywhere you've been and gone. And I think about whenever I love to work out, man.
Yeah.
And I think about what it took to go from like a tiny little scrawny kid to someone with a reasonable amount of mass. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yep.
To go from that to being a decent sized person. You have to push until failure. Whenever you go to work out, that's your objective. If you're not pushing to failure, and you never feel pain, you're not going to have any progress at all. And the problem is people don't want to get to failure, and then people don't want to push past it, especially because as soon as there's any sign of failure anywhere nearby, people are like, no, keep it away from me. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And they shy away from it. So they end up not doing the things that it takes to become successful in any endeavor, man.
That's good stuff, bro. That's strong. I love it. Yeah, you're a huge mindset believer. We're on that
Yeah.
same brainwave with that.
Yeah.
For someone just starting out, how would you explain, the mindset process and why it is so, so important to invest in yourself?
Oh man. Man, that's such a powerful question. I would say there's no way for you to be successful without you. If you're going to be successful, you've got to be successful. That sounds redundant. It sounds like it doesn't make any sense. But the reality is the reason why a person isn't successful is because of you. So in order for you to actually get to where you want to be, you have to change you. So you can't get there if you don't change you.
Yeah, straight up.
So that's the answer right there. That's it. So if you want to improve, then you have to start investing first in yourself. You have to take care of yourself in terms of understand why you're afraid and push past it anyway. Have a certain amount of a certain measure of self-awareness, know what your weaknesses are and address those bad boys and keep pushing anyway. You know what I mean? And the reason why I say that is because in wholesaling real estate, there's nothing innately hard about what we do. In fact, sometimes I legit I've had this conversation multiple times with people on my team that sometimes I feel borderline guilty how much money we're making, and it's not I'm not guilty, but I'm just saying sometimes I get that feeling, and the reason why is because I'm like, this is too easy.
Right.
This is way too easy. So why don't more people do it? It's because there are many, many failures you have to go through in order to get to the one person who says yes. And then when you get that contract, then you got to get it sold. So there's lots and lots of like, let me get kicked in the growing moments that you're going to have to go through. You're going to have a lot of scary moments. And if you're not willing to do that, then you're not, it's not going to happen for you.
That's strong. That's strong. Yeah. It's becoming the person that you were created to be, right? Mm-hmm. Like people see success, they see dollar signs or they see that end result. But the true value in that success is becoming that person. You're shaping and molding yourself. It's like a refining process. It's removing your weaknesses, your shortcomings. You're learning through those struggles and those failures. And you end up on the other side of that, a much stronger, much more adept person where you can handle that pressure, right?
Yeah.
because it's not that that next level has any less challenges. You're just better at asking those questions and better at navigating through those challenges, right? Because successful
That's so true.
they don't have any less problems than you and me, or
Yeah.
you know, or than anyone else. We don't have. They just ask better questions, bro.
Yeah.
That's it, you know.
Yeah.
But investing in yourself, committing to that process, because again, it's not for the faint in heart.
Yeah.
You're gonna fall on your face so many times. You're gonna be reaching that failure, literally reaching that failure. That weight is collapsing on your chest, bro. You're trying to push it up. You know, that's it.
Yeah.
That's where the growth happens, man.
Entrepreneurship is not for sissies. It's not for punks. You got to be really about it.
I love it, bro. I love it, man. Yeah, if what you do is easy, day in and day out, then you're gonna live a hard life. But if what you do is hard and you commit to that process, then you're gonna live an easy life at the end of the day. Right?
Yep.
Put in the work now, make the sacrifices, make the commitments so that you can carve out that new beginning. You know, you can carve out that future. But if you get the easy way out right now, I'm gonna tell you straight up, you're gonna live a hard life, bro.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah. So true. So true, man.
That's it.
I read something today. I actually heard it. It had me fired up, man. And basically what it was saying is you can learn potential from numbers. And I think a lot of people hate numbers and they're scared of math because a lot of us sucked at math.
Right.
Numbers identify everything for us. What's the number in your bank account? How much money do you owe your credit card company? What's the number attached to your mortgage statement, right? Wow. Numbers run the world. How old are you? You know, numbers are everything. So you can learn so much about potential and how much you can accomplish from numbers. For example, here's a question for you, Ben.
Yeah.
What's the biggest number you can think of right now?
I would say a gazillion, but I don't even know if that's a number.
That's probably what I would say, right?
Yeah.
Okay, watch this. Watch this. A gazillion and one. That's bigger.
Yeah.
The point is this. There is no such thing as the largest number because and one comes after it. That's
crazy. It's infinite. Infinite possibility. Infinite.
Okay, so potential is infinite. If you told somebody in the 1700s, if you told somebody that there would be billionaires in the world, there would be people with $1 billion+ in America. If you said that, you know, right. in 1795, you know what I mean? They would be like, "You're an idiot. There's not enough resources in the world to fund somebody, just one person." Right. Now we have multiple billionaires. I think they estimate that who created the Tesla,
Elon Musk.
I think they're saying he's on track to become the first actual trillionaire.
Really?
And for us, that's more than some countries combined, yo. That's a net worth of more than some countries combined. But the point is this: it sounds impossible to the normal thinker right now. Numbers are infinite. Potential is infinite. And maybe the potential isn't money and currency, but there's potential everywhere, but we learn from numbers. You know what I mean?
That's solid.
So it's just thinking, like you said.
Piggybacking off of that, bro, looking at the natural progression of society. Hundreds of years ago, it was theism. We lived in the theism age. So we're going from theism to humanism to dataism. Theism is where human beings trust in God, trust in the healing power of God, you know, supernatural. We progressed into the humanism age where we had these new, you know, developments of medicine and ways of healing and, you know, using our hands to help people out. And now we've made a progression into the dataism age where we trust data more than ourselves. I hate to say it, but a lot of people trust the data more than they trust God, right? But it's true. You go to the hospital, and what is the first thing they do to diagnose you? They take down your symptoms, they plug it in a computer, and it shoots out data. That's why great businesses are data-driven, right?
Mhm.
It all comes again down to numbers, bro. It's a universal thing, like physics. They attach everything. But
Mhm.
when you can truly grasp that, like this is a little more of advanced principles, right? But
Mhm.
when you get good at what you're doing and you can replicate your process and your systems and systematize it, bring people on board, great companies track their numbers, they track KPIs, and they know exactly what's going in, what's going out. They know each marketing channel, what's their return on investment. It's just interesting to see that progression of human society, and how
Mhm.
it's come from the theism age to now dataism. Technology is a key, and that'll
Interesting.
actually transition us into what we're talking about today. Aaron's big on social media networking, and I just want to pose a question: like, why do you see social media and leveraging technology being so crucial for any business owner and entrepreneur in today's age?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, see, so you have two burger joints. You have burger joint A and you have burger joint B. Burger joint A makes a better burger. They're an A plus burger, right? And burger joint B makes B minus burgers, right? But nobody knows about Burger Joint A, even though Burger Joint A is a gourmet restaurant. They make the best burgers in town, but nobody knows about them. Well, if they don't know about you, they can't go, right?
That's right.
Everybody knows about Burger Joint B. In fact, because people don't know about Burger Joint A, they actually think that Burger Joint B is Burger Joint A. You know what I mean? It is the gourmet burger as far as they know about it because they don't know about anything else. The
Right.
point is, if people don't know about you, if people can't see your brand, if they can't hear you, if they're never being touched by you, then they can't go to you. They cannot make an educated decision about your business, about your brand, right? So we live in an age now, and by the way, just to clear things up, I am a believer in God. That's me.
All day.
I don't push that on anybody else, but I think it's important that you know that about me. But I say that to say, in this day and age, you mean to tell me on this device that I have in front of me at any given moment, I have the potential to blast my brand and business out to hundreds of people?
For free.
What? What's that you say?
Yeah.
Thousands of people for free? Hundreds
Crazy.
of thousands? Like, come on, let's go. So I can, let me tell you something, Ben. Bro, I used to, as a kid, I always wanted to be on TV, man. I always wanted to be on TV, bro. I broke my mom's vase one time because I was practicing the Michael Jackson Thriller moves, right? And I was trying to moonwalk on the carpet, and it was too much friction, so I fell over and broke my mom's vase. I always wanted to be on TV, man. So when we're introduced now to a platform where we can create our own TV shows, I'm like, let's go.
Yeah.
Snapchat, let's go. You know what I mean? So I started building on Snapchat. But anyway, the point is everybody has the ability to do that. But I think, Ben, what I think holds people back, because I believe that everybody should have their own personal brand out there.
Yep.
Not just if they're selling something. If they're selling something, I believe that everybody should have a personal brand and a business brand. But what holds people back is because they say, well, nobody would want to follow my life. Like, nobody cares what I do or what I go through. Nobody cares about my struggles and my come up. So, I mean, why am I going to waste my time? Nobody's going to like it anyway. Look, I'm calling you on that. I'm calling you on that low budget thinking right now. There are hundreds, if not thousands and millions of people who think just like you, but there's not an influencer who is as unique as you. So you may not be as enthusiastic as some people, or even as good looking as some people. You may not be as rich as some people, but there are people who identify with you who want to see what you have to say. You know what I mean?
That's good. That's good. Hey, your mic tweaked out for like a split second and the volume dropped a little bit, but I think we're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it something I need to adjust on my side?
Sounds good now. I think we're good.
Okay.
Yeah, when it comes down to it, we're created with and for a purpose, right? We're
Mhm.
created in God's image. We're born to create. And you
Mhm.
have these tools at your fingertips, as Earon was saying, that you have the ability to touch down just about anywhere in the entire world, right?
Yep.
Someone in China right now can see your post. It's brand recognition, right? So
Yep.
how can you become the author of your life and start to control that narrative, right? View
Yep.
social media as those empty pages as your book. That's how you're presenting yourself to the world. Me and Earon would have never met if it wasn't for Facebook, you know?
Yeah.
But this guy's out here, telling his story in all these groups and just being that vessel of light, trying to help people grow and help them get past those fears. And by the way, I think it's more fear than not thinking that they have enough value. I think people live on that other side of fear and it holds them back from wanting to step out and add that value.
Yep. I
But
agree.
yeah, we're here with and for a purpose. Yep, love it. Any feedback too, guys? We love getting you guys involved. And any questions that you have, anything that spikes some interest, feel free to shoot it in the comment section. Because again, we're here just to add as much value as possible. And if there's something I don't have an answer to, I'm sure Earon could help. But that's it. We're in this life together. It is so important to build your network, right? Successful people build strong and powerful networks.
Yep.
In fact, when you look at like universal success formula, you look at the person that won the Nobel Prize. Did you know in some cases the people that won the Nobel Prize were not even the people that invented it, that invented their invention? They were just in the right space and they were able to leverage someone else's invention and someone else's data because they had the power of networks and they knew the right people. Networking is so crucial. Even athletics, in some cases, the person with the best athletic ability doesn't get compensated to the amount of someone else. It's all about branding. It's all about how you present yourself in that market space and how you can build networks around it. So powerful.
Yep,
Social media is a tool, bro. It is insane what you can leverage off of social media. And it's just the beginning, We're seeing the beginning of it.
Man. And there's practical benefits too. In terms of business, there's practical benefits in that. Man, look, we're building this brand. We've been building it over the past 8 months or so. And we as wholesalers and rehabbers, we're always looking for discounted properties. So on my social media, I'll let people know I'm looking for discounted properties, and then I'll compensate them in some way, shape, or form for bringing me discounted properties. Just because the brand is out there, and it is trustworthy because we do good business. We get all these free leads coming in from that marketing, and we're able to get some of these wholesalers and other real estate partners more money, close on their deals, and close on deals for ourselves that we would never have been able to close on if we weren't able to link with these people. And it's basically free marketing. Everybody wins. You know what I mean? Yep. Social media, power of branding and networking.
It's crazy. Yeah. The past year, bro, I can't tell you how many JV deals have come across the desk just from adding value to the network, And yes, we have a strong buyers list, but man, like that's it. I've needed help sometimes where I've had to shop out deals to other people that had massive lists when I was getting started. Like, it makes the world go round, bro. You connect, you take care of your people, man, and you raise those tides, bro. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
I love it, man. So tell us a little bit about, stepping outside of just the social media space, because we could talk for days on that. What is your favorite marketing strategy when it comes to locating these off-market properties?
So driving for dollars, dog.
Yeah.
Driving for dollars. Let me show you how my business is structured, bro.
Yeah.
Driving for dollars. Skip trace those driving for dollars leads. Cold call them bad boys. Rinse, wash, repeat. That's it.
Wow.
That's it. That's it. Oh, and probates.
Yeah.
But probates, we have a private investigator.
Sweet.
We get the probate leads skip traced. So that's the only other list that we're actually utilizing. So driving for dollars in our local market and probate lists and then we pay for the skip tracing with all of those. However, I will say this. Shout out to my man Dylan Tedimer out in he's in Las Vegas, Nevada. And he just put me onto a water shutoff list. And so we're just now starting. I think we're skip tracing the first water shutoff list today. So we should have those leads back. So within the next 30 to 90 days, I'll have a full report on how sick the water shutoff list is in my local market. But that's basically it, man. The bread and butter right now is driving for dollars, get them skip traced, cold call them, set appointments, rock and roll.
Right. So tell us about the team structure behind that. Because again, it's hard to run all those ships. When you're just starting out, you got to take all those different hats. But what does it look like for you? Like, are you in the field driving for dollars? Are you jumping on the phone and calling people? What's your model look like? What's your team look like?
It's like this, man. I'm young and energetic, and I don't see any reason. I'm not even a full year into the business. I don't see any reason why I wouldn't be making phone calls myself. I don't see any reason why I won't be going to appointments on my own, and even helping with transaction coordination. And I love doing those things. So I don't see myself stopping to do those things until my hand is forced. And I legit cannot do those things anymore. And by the way, and I don't say this arrogantly, I'm super confident in my ability. You know what I mean? Like, I know, like, in my mind, when I go to the front door and I'm knocking on the door, like, I'm about to get this contract, yo. Like, you know what I mean? So for those reasons, I still go in the field. I still drive for dollars. I still do cold calling and all that fun stuff. But I'm starting to get weaned out of that naturally.
Yep.
Because there's so many things you do as the CEO of a business, and you're focusing on you're thinking at. I love the way Wholesaling Inc. What's the guy's name? Cody Hoffine. I love the way he says it. As the CEO of your business, you are at all times. You're 20,000 feet elevated.
Yep.
You're visionary. You got a bird's eye view. Yeah,
you shouldn't even be working, bro. You should have an integrator running that. Like, I'll challenge you, bro. I think one of the biggest challenges of an entrepreneur is letting go of that control and knowing that someone can do that job just as good, if not close to as good as you. Because I get it. You're out there. You can build rapport. You can lock those deals up, bro. But the moment you're able to fire yourself from doing that, and you can hire someone that you trust to go out in the field because you've trained them on your standard systems, your operating procedures, and they can go present their deal presentation to a seller, it frees up more of your time and you can focus more on those money-generating activities. Of course, executing contracts is a money-generating activity, but if you can find 4 more houses in that same time frame that you had to drive up to that appointment, bro,
you're right, man.
Escape that, the better, bro. And then it's freeing. You let your team take control of it, bro. You give them full responsibilities and you just let it ride, bro. I'm telling you. As the visionary, you're just basically, you're thinking, bro. Like Think and Grow Rich, the power of thinking, bro.
Yeah.
You're just thinking of better ways. You're maintaining those high-level relationships and thinking about ways that you could be better. But you're also trying to see into the future so that you can avoid some of those pitfalls that you've already faced.
Yep.
We got a quick question on the best skip tracing company. Batch skip tracing is really good. Batch skip tracing, you got some really good data.
Yeah.
Pretty affordable prices. We have some business accounts set up with like IDI. I think
What's
you got doing some volume. IDI is a good data company.
Okay. Writing that down.
I think you got to be doing some volume to get that done, man. But it's
how high quality are they? Are they got some high quality leads?
It's the best that I've found, bro.
No way. What do they charge? What do they charge?
Depends how many you're doing, bro. If you're spending at least $3,000 a month of pending numbers, then you could probably get it.
How much?
26. Hey, there goes your mic again.
Can you hear me?
That's better.
Okay, cool.
Turn your volume up a little bit. Sometimes that happens to me, bro. I think it's the mic plug. Something tweaks out with it.
All right.
Yep, but if you're doing a lot of volume, you could get it 20 cents, six. I've seen it as low as like 9 cents, bro. I know that, like Max is doing so much data right now that he's getting it below 10 cents a record.
Wow.
I know that for a fact because, yeah.
That's what's up.
But it's there, bro. It's just you.
I'm gonna have to check them out. Do you have to get licensed to work with them, like a TLO or a situation like that, or they do it for you?
You just have to, have business set up. You got to send them your articles of organization, all your operating information. You can get it set up there.
That's what's up. Okay.
But batch is really strong too. Batch skip tracings are good. REI skip, I don't know what they're charging now. It might still be at 25 cents a record. Their data is really good. There's a lot of different places you can go. Skip Genie's got good data. They used to be really expensive. I don't know where they're at.
If I'm doing a super specific niche list, like probate, I'm going to send it to a private investigator, and anybody can find a private investigator. You can go to Google and look for a private investigator. Just start putting your feelers out there. If you're persistent and consistent, you'll find a private investigator. The private investigator doesn't even have to be in your local market. They can be anybody who has access to TLO, LexisNexis, Clear. I don't know if Clear is still a thing.
I don't know. I know TLO and LexisNexis, you got to be licensed. Bail bondsmen have access to it.
Bail bondsmen, right? So be creative. Go out there and find somebody who has access to this stuff and ask them and tell them you'll pay them and let them know what you do. You don't have to, bro. Ben, can I just touch on something real quick?
Yeah, do it up.
You never, ever, 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 ever in this business have to lie. You don't have to lie. You can tell people what you do, yo.
If you are lying, you need to rethink your strategy.
Exactly.
Integrity is the way to go.
There's a caveat to that statement. And the caveat is that doesn't mean that you have to tell everybody everything that you do.
Right.
But you don't have to lie about what you do.
Communication's key.
Exactly.
We are bringing investment partners in the deal, right?
Yes.
The way we structure it, we run acquisitions for some different funds or whatever the case might be, right? You don't have to say up front, look, I'm looking just to put it under contract to resell your property, add value, because people are in these distressed situations. Well, you better be confident that you have the buyers, that you can line it up because you are the conduit. I would say before you even start trying to get these off-market properties, make sure you got some serious buyers, people's lives can be in jeopardy, especially people facing pre-foreclosure, whatever the case might be. If you're putting a property under contract and you don't have the intent to close on it or the ability to do so, but you're making promises to do it, there's some gray area,
Yeah.
So make sure you're educated before stepping into that, because you do see a lot of, there's a lot of new people out here that can't even pull a comp, and you'll know it when you speak with the seller and they're like, well, someone offered me retail cash. I'm like, yeah, probably need to run away from that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Anyways, that's it. That's it. Learning how to communicate. And that's another thing that reading and investing in your mindset will help with. You can communicate clearly. You don't have to lay out your whole hand, but you all at least need to give them your intent, right? But this is something that, you need to get past that mental block too, because it's not, moving contracts is not just something that happens at the residential level. When you're looking at these huge apartment complexes and banks and those skyscrapers in the big cities, bro, what do you think they do? You got an investor that comes through, they secure that land, usually on an option contract, right? They get in there, they bring their investors money. Sometimes they structure it, they move out of the deal, right? They move the contract. But I mean, knowing contract law and knowing the value that adds, like it's not just happening at this level, it's happening at those highest levels, So wrap your mind around that and just know that, again, that's the world goes round, that's creative.
And it also happens at the lowest levels, as it were, man. You got pens being sold wholesale price for a penny a pop, 2 pennies a pop, 3 pennies a pop. And then whenever you buy pens, have you ever bought a pen for a penny? No. But I mean, it's being wholesaled like 2 or 3 times before it gets to you, and you buy that pen for $3.50.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's what we do, but with houses.
Outsourcing, just like when you're building a team, it's hard to hire a receptionist to pay him $12 an hour when you can find a virtual assistant in the Philippines that can do the same stuff for $3 to $4 an hour.
Yep.
I pay mine $5, but she's a rock star.
Yeah.
You know, she's killing it. But it's crazy. Like once you get your mindset just past yourself and you start to really dive under the hood of organizations and businesses and, you know, creative work environments, like there's so many different ways to accomplish those tasks. And the quicker you can outsource, the better, in my opinion.
Yep. Absolutely.
That's it. So let's move on. Tell us a story from your life that's got underlying and valuable message that you carry today.
First deal wholesaling. Scared out of my mind, man. Scared out of my mind. We sent out mailers. I didn't have a whole lot of money. Sent out mailers, and I really didn't know what I was doing because I was connected with people who barely knew what they were doing. And we sent out mailers, and we got some calls back, followed up on the calls. When I didn't know what I was doing, so when I was talking to my mentor, I was like, okay, I'm going to this house. What do I do? And he said, just offer the lowest amount. I'm like, well, how do I calculate? Like, how do I know what to offer? He was like, legitimately, he's like, just offer the lowest you can, and then we'll work from there. I'm like, okay, cool. But look, I'm hungry, man, because I'm like, I need to make some changes. I didn't have any money. I was living with my mom. I had a 400 credit score, probably in the 300s. And I was passionate. I was like, I'm gonna make this work. So I go on the appointment. I walk it with the person, and I try to just build a rapport naturally. And finally, we sit down on her couch. The house was probably worth about $50,000-$60,000. Okay. It probably needed about $10,000 in a strong make ready, because structurally it was good, and it was a duplex in a lower income part of town. And I offered her $6,000 for it, which I mean, I might do that now. You know what I mean? But if I did that now, I'd have a whole lot more emotional distress going on.
Right. Did she kick you out?
She laughed at me. She laughed at me, and I was like, so I mean, how much are you thinking? She was like, not 6,000, you know. So we finally agreed on. But here's what's crazy. We agreed on 15. So it was still a really good deal. But I think the issue was, I mean, we didn't know how to negotiate on the buyer side. So anyway, long story short, found a buyer for it, and I made $750.
Still a win. That was proof that it's real.
And here's the thing. I wasn't even on any of the paperwork, bro. I wasn't on any of the paperwork. I passed it to another wholesaler, and the wholesaler was like, we're not going to make any money, but your half of it is $750, but I'm going to go ahead and just give you $750. And I was like, I trust you. Okay. By the way, never do that, y'all, unless you really, really, really trust the person. But even then, you should still have a contract. Yep. Yeah. So scratch my whole thing about if you really trust a person, always have a contract.
Yeah. I mean, I agree to a point. If you've done enough deals with somebody, you should always have a contract. That's a paper trail. It keeps everything on the up and up. It helps for accounting purposes and everything else.
Exactly. It's not even just a trust matter. It's like you could do it for convenience sake, but the reality is you never know. That's
true. And without a contract in place, it's hard to protect yourself. It leaves you in a volatile place. Right?
Yeah, somebody says, you don't trust me? Nah, bro, it ain't got nothing to do with you. It's got to do with me. You might be cool, but I got to protect me.
It's actually illegal to market a property without a contract in place. If you don't have equitable interest in that property, you know, say someone's daisy chaining, right? They see some other wholesales deal I'm going to shoot it out to my list.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, technically it's not going to be enforced, but you don't have equitable interest in that property. And without a real estate license, you don't really have permission to market it, you know?
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. It's been, because I've heard so many crazy stories.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big deal when you're dealing with contractual stuff. Like, people have gone to jail before for real estate, you know?
Yeah, for sure. But
you're not that it's a dangerous thing, as long as you have a good mentor, as long as you know what you're doing. There's no gray area or iffy practices. Like, just make sure you stay legit, you know?
Yeah.
That's it.
Don't cut no corners. But yeah, man, that first deal, it was proof of concept for me, bro. I was like, I'm standing here, and the dude didn't even give me a check. He just gave me cash. He gave me wads of 10s, 5s, and 1s.
What?
Yeah, $750, bro. So I had a lot of 10s, 5s, and 1s, bro. So when you're broke, like, so we say that now. You say $750 now, that's nothing now. But when you're broke, but like Max Maxwell says, not just broke, but broke. When you're broke, to be standing there with $750 cash in 10s, 5s, and 1s. And it's like, I didn't even do that much work. I just made more money here than I did on my draws and my sales position. You know what I mean? It was like fire ignited.
Yep. That's it. It's proof, bro. It's proof that the dream's real.
Yeah.
Once you have that belief in yourself, anything is possible. Because again, the only thing that is standing between where you are and your accomplishments is that fear, right? Once you can cross that fear, because fear is the other side of faith, as soon as you step over that, anything is possible. Walking into an appointment, you should already know and have faith with no doubt in your mind that you are walking out it with a contract, right? When you have that belief and there's no doubt in your mind, you're going to get it regardless. That goes for anything in life. Like, man, your eyes cannot see, your ears have not heard the power behind just having simple faith, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing that most adults suffer with is, you know, we get beat up so much from life. After you graduate high school, everything was great, you know, living on top of the world. Then life happens and you struggle, you fail forward, and you settle. You settle because it's the easy way out. It's you know what people do. But man, when you're able to truly cross that boundary and step past that fear, that's where greatness happens.
Yep. Les Brown said one of the illest things I've ever heard in my life, man. And he said, depression doesn't hit, or failure is not when you aim too high and miss. It's when you aim too low and hit. That's when depression sets in. You know what I mean? That's why, you know, if it's not organic, that's why depression sets in, man. You know, people feel like this is it. Like, I have no more, or I'm not progressing towards my potential. You know what I mean? It's because you know, you settled, just like you said.
It takes the same amount of effort to work a 9 to 5 as it does to make $1 million a year. Same amount of effort, same amount of, don't want to say same amount of time. Shoot, you could have a person that works 4 hours a week. Did you know that, what's his name? Brunson, the owner of, or Richard Branson, owner of Virgin Air, that guy works like 2 hours a week. And then the rest is just talking and networking. 2 hours a week, he's a billionaire. Mindset, dude. It's the power of your belief.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
Which goes back to it goes back to modeling, right? If you can pattern and model yourself after people who are successful. But there's a caveat to what you said, bro. There's a caveat to what you said, Ben, because we got to clarify for some of our listeners. It's some out here who are just starting off.
Right.
Someone just starting off. If you try, you got to model Richard Branson when he was in his 20s. You know what I mean? Because if you try to model Richard Branson now, I'm telling you right now, entrepreneurs, you gotta want this so bad that you are at every waking moment, you are thinking about how you can improve and reach your goal. Like your grind has to be heavy. Even if you have a full-time job and you can only do 2 to 3 hours a day or whatever, in those 2 to 3 hours, and I think this is what you were getting at, Ben. So I'll piggyback off what you were saying. In those 2 to 3 hours, you got to be so laser focused, and you got to be milking every minute of that 2 hours.
Yep.
You can't be scrolling on Facebook and tweeting your baby mama. Like you got to be actually grinding during the, like, when it's work time, it's work time.
Yep.
When it's time to hang with the wife, or when it's time to be with the wife, then be with your wife. Actually be there.
When you're in that zone, how do you hold yourself accountable? Because I'll tell you what, maintaining that focus is the hardest thing for an entrepreneur. I struggle with it every single day. Do you time block your schedule? What do you do to hold yourself accountable?
Ask my team, bro. I literally, when I'm in the office with my team, I literally put, I give, all right, so what are we doing for the next 20 minutes? We put a timer. That's what we're doing for the next 20 minutes. Once we get there, next question, what am I supposed to be doing right now? Put a timer. And that's all that we do during that time. You know what I mean? Yep. Now, there are little, so the way we try to block it on a super granular daily level is you have two things that you could be doing as an entrepreneur in wholesaling real estate, and that's pipeline and new business, right? Everything you're doing, and if you're doing anything outside of those two umbrellas, don't even talk to me. Like, you're not really about this life.
That's a nugget right there. That's solid. It's such a simple concept.
Right? There's two things you could be doing, and that's pipeline or new business. So this is the way we block it out. From this time to this time, it's new business. So what does new business mean? If you're following the formula that I mentioned earlier, that's you're either driving for dollars, or which means you're driving around writing down addresses for homes that seem distressed. And the next thing is cold calling people. That's new business. That's new business. If you're not doing either of those things, you're wasting time. Imagine yourself taking $100 bills and burning them. You know what I mean? Okay. So from this hour to this hour, it's new business. All right. From this time to this time, it's pipeline. So if you don't know what pipeline is, then you need to be doing the first two things. Pipeline basically means deals contracted and or deals that are ready to close. So basically, let's just say deals contracted. So what am I doing to push these deals contracted to closing? Why is it still on my books? Why is it not closed yet? And ask yourself, and you should know, you should have an answer for every deal in your pipeline, every deal that you have a contract for. Why has this not closed yet? You should have a specific answer. If the answer is, well, I don't know, that needs to be your priority.
Yep. That is your job. Exactly. Your job as the wholesaler, as the entrepreneur, you're that conduit, right? Moving those papers, you better be diligent at pushing that paperwork, because you have the direct communication with the seller. You've built that rapport, and you have direct communication with not only your buyer, but the attorney, the title company, if you're, attorney or title state. Every single person, you need to make sure that we're in sync and everyone knows exactly where we're at in that process. It's your job and your duty. You can't just sit back and kind of let things float. Shoot, we closed the deal today that I've been milking since March of last year. I got married March 30th. It'll be my 1-year anniversary, right?
Congrats, bro.
I met with this church before my wedding back in March, and we agreed on price. I was pumped. I'm like, sweet, this will pay for the wedding. Man, we had to follow up with this deal for an entire year, for a whole year. And we closed it today, bro. After we got the contract signed, we lined up a buyer. Buyer was there within 6 hours, bro, full price. But then awesome. we had to navigate a lot. So the church, first time doing business with the church, but and communicating single person within the deal. Communication is so overlooked in business and in life, right? If you don't communicate in your relationships, in your marriage, you're going to fail, right?
Yep.
I've learned a lot about that my first year in marriage. I'll tell you what, man.
It's only begun, my friend. Yeah. It's only begun.
No doubt. No doubt. But that's it, man. Like, the better and more clear that you can communicate your intentions, the more success you're going to have in every area of your life.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. It's the basic fundamental things. If you stick to the fundamentals and master the fundamentals, you will be so surprised what will happen in this next quarter.
Yep. I like that. Focus on fundamentals. The business is easy. I should say the business is simple, but it's not easy. It's
Boom.
not.
I agree with that statement. Yeah,
Most
man.
people
So I
will
mean,
fail. Most people will fail. I said most people will fail. 80-90% of people that start wholesaling never make it.
Bro, just like anything else worthwhile in life. That's just how it's going to be. Some people are just not going to put in the work. They're just not going to put in the work, man. I think that's one of the most frustrating things as someone like I'm a wannabe influencer, right? I'm just a wannabe influencer. I just that's all I want to do. I've always wanted to just help people, man. Even when I was wilding out and using drugs, and I was still trying to help people, man. I was trying to get them, you know what I mean, the best hookup.
Yep, no doubt.
I've always wanted to help people, man. But one of the most frustrating things, dude, is when people present themselves as if they want the help, and then you outline to them, this is how to do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and step 5. That's all you got to do. And they don't even do step 1, bro. That's my issue, man. That's my issue. I get emotionally invested in people.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I'm not gonna stop doing it because I feel like that's what fuels me. You know what I mean? But it could be somebody who hits me up on Facebook. You know what I mean? And I'm talking to this person on Facebook or DMs and Instagram, and they're telling me their story, and I'm reading it, and I'm engaged with them, and they say, I need this. So I'm like, cool, this is what you got to do. Boom, boom, boom. I'll check up on you. See, I'm not like it. I'll text you in 2 months. How's your business coming? Yep. Oh, we haven't closed any deals yet. Man, it's been real crazy because, man, you won't even believe what happened. I'm not even reading the rest. Yep. It don't matter what happened. You're not about it. I'm just telling you right now, like, it don't even matter what happened, yo. You're not about it. You're not about it. Because as an entrepreneur, I can tell you, look, I can tell you this. I don't know what happened in your life, Ben. I don't know what happened in your life, but I can guarantee you some crazy stuff happened between the time when you made a decision to crush it in this business and to where you are now. I'm sure you can count at least 1 or 2 real crazy things that has happened to you, right?
I had to go to prison for 5 years.
Holy moly! Okay, look, that was not scripted. I didn't anticipate that.
Yeah, but I mean, I live my life transparent, bro. That was the best thing that ever happened to me. God,
you just proved my point, bro. You just proved my point. You legit went to prison for 5 years, came back, and now you're crushing it. So I'm just saying that, like, that's one of my biggest, it's one of my biggest frustrations, and it makes me pity people. If anything, I don't get mad at them, but because it's like, I don't know what they've been through, but what I do know is that if you come back with any excuse, it's just an excuse to me. Like, don't expect for me to sympathize with your feel. I'll feel for you, and I'll sympathize with your feelings, but I won't sympathize with your excuses. So my mom died. Hey, my mom died. I couldn't do it. My mom died. Man, I feel for you. I still have the same expectations. You know what I mean? So what are you going to do? And I'm not trying to be insincere. I'm just saying, okay, all right. You still have to make it happen, though. You just because remember, I started by saying, if I get emotionally invested and I'm listening to your story and you tell me I got to do it for my kids, I got to do it because I always felt like I couldn't succeed, or I got to do it because I've always felt unworthy, or I got to do it because my son needs X, Y, and Z, or he's not going to make it.
Yep.
Okay, if I check on you in 2 months and you tell me my mom died, I couldn't do it, I mean, I feel for you. It's just an excuse, yo.
Right.
You should have did it anyway. Or do it now. Okay, let's go now, you know?
Grant Cardone says, success is your duty and responsibility. Don't expect to milk life off of the government. Don't go as far as, if your power goes down, you better have a backup generator in place to make sure your family's taken care of. Like, take responsibility for your life, right? But also piggybacking off of what you were saying, when reaching out to a mentor, you got to know where you want to go before asking for directions.
Yeah.
You have to, or else you're going to waste their time. You're not going to respect the relationship, and you're not going to be able to add value in return, right? You can't just go to somebody, want to consume as much information as possible and expect them to set you up for success. You got to bring value. You got to come to that meeting, or, you know, enter into that relationship with a value-based proposition. How can I add value to your business? I want to learn the ropes. I want to get started. You know, I'm willing to do whatever it takes, you know, but how can I value your business? If you're going to set that up, I'd encourage you to do your research, know what that person's about, know what they're passionate about, and know how to come in with that angle where you can push those points, you know, and really build that relationship.
Absolutely.
That's what makes you great. You got to put in that groundwork before everything, before a simple conversation, right?
Yep. Absolutely.
Work on your ground game.
Yep. I love it. Ben, I hate to rush you, man. I got some appointments I got to jump on, man. Anything else we can cover with our audience to give them as much value as possible?
Let's just touch on your favorite book and why, and your favorite quote after that.
Favorite quote, hands down. Why try to blend in when you were born to stand out? Let's go. I live by that. Always try to be the most unique person in a room full of unique people.
Boom. I love it.
All right. Okay. And then favorite book of all time. I always say this, Psycho-Cybernetics. I think that anybody should be reading this book. Understand the difference between the brain and the mind. And wholesaling will be a cinch for you. Real estate will be a cinch for you. Anything that you strive to do will be a cinch if you can master your mind, man.
Boom. I love it. That is a strong book. That's awesome. And before we jump off, man, tell our listeners where you can be found online.
All of you can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Earon Bevans. Just look right underneath me. My name is right there. You just type it in with no spaces on Facebook and Instagram, and I will be there. And I want everybody on my audience, definitely go check out my man, Ben Lovro. He's crushing it right now. And I think you're going to be doing amazing things, my dude.
Yeah, bro. Absolutely, man. Earon Bevans, the millennial entrepreneur. Let's kill it, bro.
Let's do it, man. Until next time.